It's a team that never gives up. Very fit. Last season they were top of every chart when it comes to running stats, and again they were very impressive in that sense today. The way they counter-attacked us with the second goal they scored, for example, yeah, that shows you that you have to give credit to them as well. But they face a team that's really fit as well. Last season, but this season again. And although we've lost many players, the mentality to come back after a disappointment is still there, also with the new ones.
Even when we scored the 2-2, I think looked like we were with a little bit more of energy, but it's true that you never know against Liverpool, no? Because when they really need, they find an extra energy boost, no? And probably a third goal, no? We go both players to the same ball, we leave the ball there. It's true that it's a great finish, but it's a shame because we've been really, really close.
For my goal, it took me 1 year to score in the Premier League, but we say in Italian, I don't know if you can say this in English, but better late than never.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same in English. Okay, better late than never.
We understand that Antoine was the victim of some racial comments from the crowd. That's horrendous.
Yes, I didn't notice live, but straight away Antoine and the referee told us the person has been identified, and obviously it's a big shame. You know, these things continue happening. The first game of the Premier League, everyone watching, it's a lovely game of football, and that we have to talk about. Really a big shame.
It's obvious that we don't want this in football, that there's nothing we can say that how we feel about this, and we don't want this in football, but we definitely don't want this at Anfield. And unfortunately that's now part of the story, because for the rest we should talk about how a great tribute there was for Diogo, what our fans did for him, for his family, with the great banner and the way they sung "You Never Walk Alone," all of these things. But let's be clear. The club had a clear statement, and this should never happen in football, let alone at Anfield.
Yeah, it was such an emotional, moving night at Anfield, and Antoine Semenyo has posted on Instagram today about what happened tonight, saying that it will stay with him forever, but not because of one person's words, but more how the entire football family stood together. And Merseyside police have confirmed today that they've arrested a 47-year-old man on suspicion of a racially aggravated public order offence. As far as the game itself was concerned, Liverpool look like they're going to be very entertaining to watch this season.
Well,
as did Bournemouth, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, Bournemouth were very, very good. They're never going to fail to score goals, I don't think, Liverpool, but at the moment they look very, very vulnerable in the turnover of possession. In 38 games last season, they conceded 2 on counter-attacks. After 1 game this season, they've conceded 2. Look there, Kirk hasn't got a clue where he is. That should have been... They should have scored 2 goals and went 2-0 up. Bournemouth on similar occasions and doing that. OK, it doesn't quite work here with that first pass. They've got 3v3 there. First pass doesn't work, but Liverpool are all over the place defensively. Watch Konate here. He hasn't got a clue what's going on behind him. And I said they're very vulnerable, particularly down the sides and behind either fullback. There's Kirkes there. He's on the way to attack when they haven't even got possession, which means he's 5 or 6 yards out of position. I mean, that is an unbelievable ball and a great finish. But Liverpool are all over defensively. The balance doesn't look right at all. They change the fullbacks. Robertson comes on and Endo comes on. Curtis Jones is attacking into the box, runs straight past Bournemouth players. They lose the ball. Look, they've got 8 players in that 18-yard box, and all of a sudden you've got 4v2. Semenyo, it's an unbelievable run. But look at how many players, Liverpool players, are out of position. It's a great finish again. The balance doesn't look right at all. OK, they score 2 late goals to go on and win the game. But that's what I mentioned there. When you look at it, that is incredible. Counter-attack goals last season, 2. Already 2 this season. So there's work to be done on that side of things.
Further forward, you were impressed with Ekitike, weren't you?
Yeah, I thought he had a really good game and obviously involved in the first 2 goals. But what I really liked about his game is he comes short at times. He ran in behind. Here he comes short. Then he carries on and he lays the ball off, and then he gets in the box. He wants to get on the end of crosses. Again here, comes short, comes off the defence. Good pass out wide. First thought, gets in the box. Salah has a shot, doesn't cross it, but he's making the right movement. But what I like about this one, it's a double movement. He lays it off, he goes to go again, and then he stays short. Now he's keeping the Bournemouth defenders guessing. And now he sees the space and he makes that running behind. Gets a little bit of luck, which he deserved, and then a cool finish at the end of it. And again here, being in the middle of the goal, I think it's really important. Good cross, should do better, should get another goal. And this one, good composure, makes a corner run, holds the ball up well. He's got the composure to see his teammate. Lovely way to pass, gap pro, really calm and composed. So I think it's a very good debut for him and involved in 2 goals.
Yeah.
And Alan, you tweeted last night, why would you want to move to Anfield now to be Ekitike's understudy? I can't imagine why you did that. Let's just show you the league table before we go, even though not everybody's played yet. Manchester have had their best start to a season for 6 years, one of 4 teams to take maximum points so far. At the other end, Wolves sit bottom after making their worst start to a league campaign for 22 years. But there's a long way to go. So from today's game, Sunderland were on first, but already Liverpool and Manchester City are up and running and both scored.
It was a stunning start to this Premier League campaign for the defending champions Liverpool, and we've been talking actually about new signings and debutants throughout the course of this show, and Ekitike, well, he didn't disappoint, did he, Julian?
Yeah, there's speculation about another striker coming there, but he hasn't let that affect his game, or he didn't let it affect it. He showed his class and started off where he finished last season. Great composure. I think the keeper makes it slightly easy for him, but his ability, his willingness, and we've seen that in other Liverpool strikers that go through, able to read ricochets, and all of a sudden they find themselves in front of goal and finish the chance.
And there he is, dedicating that one to Diogo Jota. It was a really, really emotional night overall, so they would have been thrilled with the fact that they got the win. Yeah, you really felt that energy in the stadium, and it was obviously very sad, but Liverpool, they celebrated Diego and his brother. Really, really emotional night, and something that would have been very special. It was emotional for Mo Salah as well, as we saw the scenes at the end, and he also scored a goal, which was a lovely way for him to mark this match. Yeah, this is Mo Salah in his element in front of goal, opening day of the season. We spoke about Erling Haaland, but I think he's top of that chart in regards to scoring in the opening game of the season. He's just waiting for an opportunity. He's not really doing that much when it looks like that, but he's just moving his feet, moving the ball, and all of a sudden he sees the opportunity and it's a clean strike with his right foot. How do you defend against that? It's hard, and there's not many that do and have been successful because he scored that many goals. But in regards to what you do, you try to slow him down. You try to wait for teammates to come and help you and support you, because going 1v1 against Mo Salah tends to end in his favour. And this was a moment that we were just talking about as he celebrates Diogo Jota with the family, and you can see he's so emotional. I can't even begin to imagine what this must be like for these players, to have lost a teammate in such a tragic way. Well, I don't think you know, grief affects people in many different ways, and not always straight away. This is in your face. They've done really, really well. They're going to celebrate him. They'll continue to celebrate him. Yeah, really sad. I get the feeling it's going to be a very, very emotional season, full stop for them. 100%. And that is one thing that club get well and get right, is celebrating and remembering the past, whether it's a tragedy or not. They are very respectful to previous generations and players, and that is one club that will be able to deal with that. Now, I really didn't want to have to talk about this on the opening weekend of the Premier League, but you will have seen that in the 28th minute, the match was suspended after allegation of racist abuse aimed towards Antoine Semenyo. Now, a man has been arrested, so it is in the hands of the police. But to both of you on this, Jolien, when are we going to stop talking about this? Well, we're not going to stop, because it's going to continue to happen. I'm not one of these optimistic people that believe it's ever going to be eradicated from the game or society, and that's the bigger picture. It's not just football. There's people that have to experience that level of abuse far often than Semedo. It's devastating that he had to receive that last night. Massive occasion for him, his family playing at Anfield, opening game of the season, scoring 2 goals, and then he's had to go through that. And said, I don't know how to do it, how to deal with it, but unless something drastic happens, like players just walk off without an explanation, because the protocol and the red tape that teams and players have to go through is crazy. I think there has to be 7 incidences before a team can actually walk off if a player receives racist abuse, and for me that is unheard of. It's just not what football stands for in a game that has so many players from all backgrounds and all walks of life, that we celebrate football so much, yet we still see racism. It's just so disgusting to see. Yeah, it's not
It's not what we want to see. It's not what we want to be a part of. It's not what football wants to be associated with. As Jolien says, it is and it will continue to be. And that's such a sad situation. And the other night, to go through that, the club, the world of football has to stand together to get this out of the game. It's unacceptable.
For me, when you're dealing with things like that, it's either respect or fear. And there isn't enough respect to be dealt with it that way. So there has to be fear. You have to be fearful of the consequences. If you of any ethnicity, you have to be... The only way for me now is to eradicate that, is to make the consequences so severe. That people are scared. And you still might be racist or have the tendencies to be ignorant in certain aspects of your life, but to do it in a football environment, these are the consequences. So now you're thinking again.
Well, Semenyo, I must say, I think we all share the thoughts that he handled the situation so well. He put out a statement on his social media to just say thank you to his teammates and to the fans for the support that they did show him. So, you know, I think he handled it very, very well. It can't have been easy at all. OK, let's wrap up the show with...
At the moment, would you make Liverpool favourites to retain the title, Michael?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very confident. I mean, Liverpool won the league by 10 points last season. They took their foot off the gas with 4 games to go. I mean, you could mark that up at 17 points, really. That's a lot. And they've gone and strengthened over the summer and, you know, got some incredible... really in a midst of change, and this could be almost a new beginning for them, but it might take a bit of time. Chelsea, young team last season, they're improving. They could have something to say about it. I still think Arsenal are the biggest challengers. You know, they've fought quite well. They've been second 3 times on the spin. I still think Arsenal are their biggest challengers, but if these players click, I think the only question is that. I mean, the only question is, we're talking about 9 players already into the squad, and we're all agreeing that there might be even more on the way. That's a hell of a turnaround in players, and whether they can all gel straight away, that is the only question mark. But in terms of the quality, in terms of the experience, been there, seen it, done it, everybody believes. I mean, Liverpool are absolutely the team to beat this season.
Are Arsenal their closest rivals, do you agree? And adding the centre-forward Gyökeres, could that be the missing ingredient?
Yeah. I mean, that was the position that everybody focused on. We all got caught up in. They've addressed that. They've got the players who are injured, the Jesus, the Havertz, back fit, which will help. I think Zubimendi and Norgard were nice signings, to be honest. And Madueke, as much as what you will read, the Arsenal fans were not necessarily enamoured about, I still think that was a good signing because it bolsters the squad. It instantly gives them more experience in case of injuries. That's my only concern of Liverpool when I looked at the squad before. I think the starting 11, if you keep that starting 11, they'll win the league at a canter. But we know that football's not like that, and if you lose one important player to a bad injury, or you lose 2 or 3, then you start to struggle. That's why I still think Liverpool are favourites, yes, and Arsenal and Manchester City will be second and third. But I would still like Liverpool to bring in a few more, and then I would be really happy, more content, more secure in my selection.
Well, as Premier League fans, we're looking forward to this season because there's so many new faces, new managers. There's been an awful lot of money spent as well, and obviously none more so in terms of spending power than Liverpool here. It's the most they've spent in 10 transfer windows. You mentioned the 9 players for a total of £321.5 million. Then come Chelsea, United, Arsenal, Sunderland are in there, another one of Jermaine's former clubs. 11 new players, almost £150 million spent by the newly promoted club. But when you then look at the trading and the player sales as well, the net spend is a very different look about it, because Liverpool have traded well as well with the likes of Tyler Morton and Kwanzaa and Diaz and Nunez. It's Manchester United with the biggest net spend. They haven't recouped anything as yet as we stand here now. Arsenal only £10 million in, and then Liverpool, City and Sunderland. So when you look at that, is the real pressure not necessarily on United as bad as they were last season, Jermaine Defoe, but on Arsenal we were just talking about. He's been backed again, Mikel Arteta, hugely there.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, I mean, there was a lot of noise around, obviously, the centre forward, and obviously they've done that business now. So I think for me, for Arsenal now, there's no excuses. Madueke's a fantastic signing, like Maka said. I think he's sort of like gone under the radar a little bit. I was actually surprised when Chelsea let him go. But yeah, I mean, you know, I think they'll finish fourth, Arsenal.
Fourth?
I think they'll finish fourth.
Spoken like a former true Tottenham striker.
I knew he was going to say that. But just seeing Chelsea.
So who wins the league for you then?
Yeah, I think seeing Chelsea over the summer.
Chelsea?
Really, I think seeing Chelsea over the summer, they impressed me. I think City obviously not going to have the season they had last season. I think obviously City will be strong. But I think Chelsea will finish third. And for me, I still feel, even with the business that Arsenal have done, I think they'll finish fourth.
So Liverpool to win the league?
Yeah.
OK, let's look at some of these new boys warming up. And let's begin with the biggest money signing. Germany's Player of the Year. He's only 22. Florian Wirtz. We got the first glimpse at Wembley in the Community Shield. I know you were there last week. You saw him live and you loved what you saw, Michael.
Can't stop smiling when you're talking about him just then, Steve. I mean, he is just utter class. His movement, his touch, his skill, just everything about him. He's just a born footballer. He's got a football brain. He looks forward all the time. He plays risky passes. He's not scared to give it away. He takes the risk out of the pass for whoever's receiving it as well. He works hard. I mean, I just think he's going to light up the Premier League. I was so excited going to Wembley last week to watch him for the first time, and I left, despite Liverpool not winning the trophy, despite him maybe not even putting in a man of the match performance. I just looked at some of the things he did and it just left me drooling. I think he is absolutely exceptional. So I can't wait to watch him this season.
You've got to be some player, as we know, to wear that Liverpool number 7 shirt.
It's a heavy old shirt, that one.
It's a heavy old shirt. Only some of us can carry it on and off, I tell you. But yeah, I'm the same as Mo. I think out of all the signings this year, and there's been a lot of money spent, and whether Isak comes in, and he will, if he does come in, he'll eclipse the money that Liverpool have played on Florian Wirtz. But for me, this is the star signing of the summer. This was the one that really got me going as well. Gyökeres, Sesko, Cunha, I hope they all have lovely seasons, I really do. If Isak comes in the same, he's the one that got me thinking, wow, this is it for Liverpool.
And is it a statement, Maka? Because in the past, we've had a player of that calibre. It's been Barcelona or Real Madrid just nicking the Premier League.
Yeah, Bellingham, there was talk of a couple of years ago, wasn't he? May have come
but
here,
this time
but
Liverpool
elsewhere.
got the man.
Yeah, and we were talking about before the end of the season, can they bring him in? They were in them or Barcelona, them or Bayern Munich. Could Real Madrid have a sniff for him? But no, it was Liverpool that were the front runners all the time. Everything was negative coming from Bayern Munich, and we were sitting here going, could they bring him in? They're going to win the league, and then they're going to bring in a potential superstar for the next 8, 9, 10 years. Could they do it? Because there's been a lot of near misses, so the fact that they did it, and I love the way he plays. I'm with Michael. That style, his body language, his shape, he dodges it, moves his shoulders. Luka Modric, Cole Palmer shows it now. Just got that extra split second on the ball. Calm, cool as you like. And I love the fact that Liverpool brought him in. I really do.
And as a centre forward, you'd love to play in front of him. Talk about the man who is playing in front of him tonight. Diaz gone, Nunes gone, Ekitike arriving. Liverpool, bang, did the deal. Obviously, long chase by Newcastle, 23. Had his experience at PSG.
When he was younger.
Tore up the Bundesliga, really, with his numbers at Frankfurt. Do you like what you see?
Oh, absolutely. You know, fantastic player, 23 years old, scores goals, runs in behind, you know, technically so gifted, as we saw last week. A fantastic goal. But what really impressed me is that the goal that he scored against Palace, you know, we've seen that so many times. So that tells you that, you know, this is a young player that, you know, he's got that sort of, you know, that repetition, that he must practice that in training. You know, compared to the left, compares the 9. And he really excites me. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. You know, a lot of people said that they remind him of Thierry Henry in how he finishes. You know, he makes good contact. You know, he passes it in corners. He doesn't snatch. He finishes. He doesn't shoot. And I mean, you know, the best version of this young player, you know, it's exciting.
And Arne was saying this week, Michael, he does see him as a 9. I know he can play on the left-hand side, but the manager does see him as a number 9.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw his stats there as well. I mean, they're only going to improve. Imagine playing in this team, this Liverpool team. He's going to be given a lot of chances with some of the best players in the world. I mean, this is a really, really good attack. Mo Salah, of course, you know, been there, seen it, done it. On the other side, I mean, probably the most improved player on the left side at the moment in Cody Gakpo. For the last season, he's been absolutely brilliant. And then you've got, you know, the 2 new signings down the middle. I mean, it's such an exciting attack. I like that lad, Ekitike. You know, I was impressed with him again at Wembley. Haven't seen loads of him, but I was impressed with what I saw. He likes to run in behind as well. He can stretch teams, you know, deep, and he can come off short. I'm really excited by the signings. As I say, as long as they knit together, this is going to be really, really impressive.
Because Aaron, they won the league with Diaz a lot down there, and we got the impression that Diaz didn't really want to play there.
No.
And they've brought in Ekitike, bang.
Yes, and I think a lot of the fans won't have seen a lot of him. I think you have to be a studier of European football to understand. But that cameo last week in the Community Shield, considering he arrived later than Viet and he arrived later than some of the other signings, he'd only been through the door a couple of weeks. But I was the same, hugely impressed with his performance in the Community Shield. Just the silly things like the way he received the ball. As Michael touched on earlier, his goal, the way he received the goal on his back foot, opening his body up. I just saw little glimpses of high quality in that particular area. And he will get better with his age. He's only 23. He'll improve for being here. And again, he could be an incredible, exciting 22-year-old and a 23-year-old in the 10 and the 9 positions. I think that's brilliant business from Liverpool.
Yeah, for the future. That's a really good point, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting times for Liverpool. We always talk about strengthening from a position of strength. Liverpool winning the league and then going and spending what they've done, what they've spent, and the players. I mean, other Premier League rivals must be looking over thinking, oh, wow, we couldn't get near them last season with what they had. And now look what they've got. They've upgraded their centre-forward. They've upgraded their number 10. I mean, it's unbelievable what they've done. And with the promise of a few more signings to come.
Situation of being on the hallowed turf where these three gentlemen, of course, played many times. Liverpool warming up behind us. Just before the break, we were talking about the eye-catching new boys. 2 new fullbacks is interesting as well. Let's start on the right-hand side because Trent Alexander-Arnold gone. Conor Bradley, unfortunately, has an injury. What about Frimpong from Leverkusen? How does he change the way Liverpool play in that right-back situation?
Well, first of all, I think it was wise to bring him in. I really like Conor Bradley, but he's missed half the games. He's only a young lad, and he's missed half the games already in the last 2 seasons through injury. So you can't take that risk. Frimpong's come in. I like his energy. He's actually more of a wing-back, more of an attacking player than a right-back.
That worry you?
Does it worry me? No, I think that's the way Liverpool like to play. I think it'll be pretty similar on the other side as well. Kirkes will be expected to join. People question... Listen, it leaves Liverpool centre-halves exposed, and we saw that actually in the Community Shield. But that's what they've always been, and that's what they can handle. And that's almost the risk-reward that they play. That's just their style of play. So, no, it doesn't. It actually excites me that they're going to contribute going forward. And the best form of defence is attack. I mean, sometimes teams can't get out when they're playing against Liverpool. There's so many players going forward, they just can't get out. So, no, I like it. I think it's a good signing. It was wise to get another one as well as, you know, what they've already got. And, and he played particularly well when I saw him play over the summer.
Liverpool, as you can see, about to depart their warm-up. And on that right-hand side, Jermaine, because so much came from Trent Alexander-Arnold when he did play, will there be an obvious adjustment there to the way Liverpool
it was different. Obviously, Trent, you know, sort of like played away from the pressure. You know, would like to receive it. And, you know, spray passes like we've seen him do. You know, that's probably his best attribute. I think with Frimpong, we saw a few times where he tried to overlap. You know, he tried to sort of like run past Salah, when normally you just give it to him and just go one-on-one. You know, because he's a one-on-one specialist, Salah. So I think that's the difference, really. But, you know, in terms of the balance behind the ball has to be right. Because when you've got 2 fullbacks with that sort of energy and they go forward, on transitions, Bournemouth will try and exploit that space. That's why, so the balance behind it's got to be right. But I think it's a lot different from Trent. Because like I said, you know, that sort of like playing away from the pressure and just picking passes. Frimpong's just up and down like most of the
I think that's what you'd have to remember. He's different from Trent. He's not a replacement for Trent. Trent Alexander-Arnold was too good. Is a better right-back than Jeremy Frimpong. A much better right-back than Jeremy Frimpong. But Liverpool are looking further forward. Mo Salah's going to go to AFCON. He can play in that position if needed. He can play further forward. So as long as you remember that, you're getting something different. You're not getting a replacement. You're certainly not getting a better replacement. But he'll offer something different than what Liverpool need at this moment in time going forward.
What about on the other side? Kirkes in. We've seen how good he played for Bournemouth, tonight's opponents. A little bit harsh on Andy Robertson, or did that need freshening up?
I think it's a little bit harsh on Andy Robertson. I think it needed freshening up as well. But Andy Robertson at his best, if Kirkes is going to replicate that, he's going to have to be some player. And again...
He has to start well then, Macca.
Yes, Viet and Ekitike, I think they're an improvement straight away.
Yeah.
I don't know Kirkes and Frimpong are of what they've got, but I think Liverpool needs to bring Kirkes in. I think he offers something different again. But Andy Robertson's been an incredible left back for 8-9 years, and he's not finished yet. But I think Liverpool have improved in that area. If you've got Kirkes and Robertson, I think that's better than Robertson and Tsimikas, and that's all you can do as a top team. Keep on improving the players you've got in the system, and I think Liverpool have certainly done that. But I don't think he's going to come in and everyone's going to go, wow, he's amazing, he's way better than Andy Robertson. He had a few flaky games last year, Andy Robertson, but that's all, and he's been exemplary for 8-9 years.
Yeah, he has almost been pensioned off a little bit too soon, hasn't he? Lots of people think, let's bring someone in.
31.
And I think, absolutely, he's not an old player at all. And I think what we can all be guilty of in a way is a new signing coming in. You're so excited to see them, you actually forget what's already here. I mean, this team, and Mo Salah did an interview in the week, and he mentioned that. He almost mentioned, listen, they're coming into a team that's already successful.
Already won the league.
Players like Van Dijk and Mo Salah have been carrying this team for years. So even though we're all getting excited by the new players, they're going to be relying on the old stagers, the people that have been here, seen it, done it, can handle this type of pressure. So they'll be looking at the older stagers or the more experienced players for help as well. So, yeah, we get carried away by the signings. But Macca's right. You know, if you go back 5 years and you say Trent and Andy Robertson, you're not getting a better fullback combination in world football. And yes, I like the two signings, but they'll do well to match what they've done for the last 10 years.
OK, getting close to kick-off. Let's get the elephant out of the room. Let's talk Alexander Isak before we lose the pitch, because it's still a big talk of all the Liverpool supporters around here. This is what Eddie Howe said today in his Newcastle press conference ahead of their game against Aston Villa. Of course, Isak is not with the squad. Yes, I've got no change of feeling throughout the summer. It's not in my hands, but he is contracted to us. So that's why I say that. Simple question. September the 1st, 7 o'clock UK time, the transfer window closes. What colour shirt does Alexander Isak have? Jermaine?
Listen, you can understand why he wants to come here. I think the way it's been handled, you don't want to see that. It's not easy for players. When your head's been turned, it's not easy for players. I feel sorry for Eddie Howe, to be honest, having to deal with this. Yeah. For a player to come out and say, I don't want to play for a club that's sort of like, that you're sort of like an icon figure at the football club at the minute. Won a trophy last season after so many years. The amount of goals that he scored. He's such a top player.
So where's he playing in September?
Here.
Macca?
If they want £150 million for him, and they're adamant they want £150 million, no, I wouldn't. I think he'll be at Newcastle. They will have to relent on the price, but if they don't, he's a Newcastle player, and I hope he changed his mind, because I didn't like the shenanigans in the summer, and I hope he gets back on board with Newcastle if he stays there.
Michael?
The longer it goes, of course. I mean, the problem is, unless Newcastle can get somebody in the meantime, they're not going to let him go. So a lot of it depends on whether there's a centre forward out there that Newcastle can find. Ekitike was one of them. If Liverpool had let Ekitike go there, then I think it would have been a simple process. They almost could have done the deal before, that. But because they took Ekitike, now all of a sudden, who is out there for Newcastle? Possibly not many people anyway. So the longer it's going now, the more I fear that he's not going to be here. I thought he would be. I thought it was a guarantee, but I'm starting to think it might be at Newcastle.
And if they don't get Isak, the Liverpool need another one? Yeah. They do?
I think so, yeah. Another forward with experience who can play straight away. Not a Jayden Danns, not a Louis Koumas, not a Rio Engamoa, not a Train Wonwi. A player with mass experience who can come on in a Champions League game, in a big Premier League game, and change the game. So definitely, in my opinion, yes,